Hey friends, just now getting the stream up and running. Hold tight. The way I'm doing this now, I've got to do it a little bit different. So please bear with me. I got to share this from the Good Time Tommy page onto the Tommy Davidson page, because that's where all my friends are. I'm trying to build up the Good Time Tommy page, and I need all my peeps out here, all my friends, help me build the Good Time Tommy page. So hold tight, hold tight. Hey Swifty, how are you, friend? Appreciate you getting on here. If you've asked me a question, I'm not looking yet, so hold tight, hold tight. Here we go. We're about to share the stream. Cousin Charlie, I see you on here, buddy. I'm sharing this onto the Tommy Davidson page. So, hey, please share my stream, the Tommy Davidson page. Please share that out if you don't mind. The reason why I do this is I am a real estate agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, that my life changed whenever I made a commitment of getting better, self-improvement, self-development. I became obsessed with how can I get to the next level, because hey, you're in class. Hey, we're ready to get you, Swifty. October 1st is going to be here before you know it, so we're going to be ready for you. So the purpose of Straight from the Gut, hey, Jamie Stillman, my mortgage guy on here, I appreciate it if you would share my stream, the Good Time Tommy stream. Please like the page as well. The purpose for this show is, this is very personal for me. The Wednesday we do Real Estate 101 from our office. Hey, buddy. Good to see you the other night. Thursday night's more of a special show about me, Good Time Tommy, GTT, where I'm very, very open and vulnerable about the mistakes that I've made, what I wish I'd done. Mom, I love you. Thank you for coming out tonight. I'm very open about my past, and whenever I talk about my past, and I'm very open about it, I just want to say, hey, I'm not beating myself up. I'm not depressed. I'm just very aware of where I was and what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to go. So Straight from the Gut, if you are someone that maybe you're in a bad spot, maybe you don't know what you want from your life, maybe you can't identify your purpose, maybe Ryan Mudd, I'm sorry you called me today, but I was helping Brittany get her store ready for her opening. So when people ask me what's the purpose of Straight from the Gut, it's to really help people that were like me and are still like me. I need to do this show so it can help me stay in a positive mindset, where it can help me stay inspired and motivated to keep moving to the next level, because at 44 years old, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'm nowhere close to where I feel like my potential is. And I think it's okay to admit that to yourself. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not where I need to be. Too often we try to justify to ourselves, hey, we're okay. We're in a good spot. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. But really, you know what you're capable of doing. You know how far away you are from your potential. So I got the idea of the show tonight from Cousin Charlie. I'm not going to go into all the details. He might get embarrassed if I tell you why we derived at this topic. But I think because of what I do, it attracts a lot of this conversation. A lot of people reach out to me and they ask me questions, and I'm very glad that they do it, because this is the one thing that I do, or this is one thing that I do that never feels like work. It never feels like I'm doing something that's taking energy away from me. I mean, this is very, very, it energizes me to get to talk about my past and my screw-ups and how I could help other people, because that's one of my main driving factors now, in my life is to give back to people. Mama, my connection's always bad. I don't know if it's mine or if it's yours. I apologize. But the idea of the show is, why haven't you gone all in on yourself? And I want you to think about this. The goal of this show is whenever I'm done with my 30, 45 minutes or however long we decide to go, I want you to walk away and think about some of the content that I'm putting out there. Are you all in? BJ, thank you for getting on here again. Are you doing what you feel like you're capable of doing? What is holding you back from, and I'm gonna share the reasons what held me back. And I'm just going to be very honest about it. I'm going to get to that. Tonight, I was going to interview my girlfriend, Brittany Renee, but we were at her shop. Tonight was her friends and family soft opening, and it was amazing. I mean, she had a huge turnout. She did not plan on selling anything there tonight, but there was too many people that just decided to come up to her. So I think she's still there. I thought it was going to be over at 7 o'clock, and I was going to talk to her about going all in, because she's gone all in, and I don't think she would be. I think she'd be the first to tell you it's very scary, and she's had opportunities to probably go all in on things in the past, and she decided not to. I've had chances in my life to bet on me. I've had a chance to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, and work for this stockbroker that probably could have been a life-changing opportunity, but I didn't do it. There was something inside of me that was scared to make that move. How many of you have had an opportunity that, or maybe you don't even know it was an opportunity presented to you? How many of you are not moving forward? How many of you are working in a job where you know you could do better, but the safety of the job keeps you there? How many of you are, this also goes to relationships and friendships. How many of you are in a relationship or a friendship that you're scared to move on from? We've all had them. I mean, we're all guilty of doing these things that are keeping us stuck in a place of complacency, of mediocrity. There's something inside of us that will not force us to move past what our emotion. Been there, done that. Can't dwell on it, though. Can't dwell on it. Richard, you're right. But everything that I've gone through, I'm very grateful for all the challenges that I've gone through, because I feel like I've learned so much. I look at it usually as a painful or costly experience that will help me in the future. So that's why I'm bringing all this stuff up. So number one, what were some things that caused me to not bet on myself? And I got to tell you the story. Me and Cousin Charlie were riding around the other day. Cousin Charlie is actually my cousin. Cousin Charlie is a guy that countless times I haven't acted on. Them seem to have been wise decisions. Okay, we'll say hi to my mom. Charleston, so are you? Where are you right now, Richard? Are you in Charleston? Blair, sometimes though you could have made a decision that maybe it was wrong, but maybe another decision was going to follow that bad decision that could have led you to a different direction. Because I've made some decisions that were bad, but they were a step of action that helped me go somewhere else. If you understand what I'm saying. Stevie Zavisa, man, thank you for tonight. This is Donna Daniel. Okay, Miss Donna Daniel. Thank you for tonight. So me and Cousin Charlie, we were riding around, and he was just kind of telling me a story. Now, I know him because he's my cousin, but he was working, he got a job after college. He finally did get a job, but these jobs were, he wanted to get into sales, but he knew that he could do better. But it took him years and years for him to make a decision that it was time for him to challenge himself and bet on himself. And he said he heard it. Hey, Lucky, he heard this. He forgot who he heard it from, but it was something that he didn't act on for like a year and a half. He heard somebody ask, when are you going to bet on yourself? What does that sound like to bet on yourself? Blair, you left a job to come work at John Jones Real Estate. I mean, you bet on yourself there. I had a lot of jobs where, and honestly, when I came to work for John Jones, I was too much of a chicken to really bet on myself. John Jones, his confidence and his belief in me is what got me to take that step forward. I don't think I would have done it during that time. I would probably not during that time of my life. And I'm going to break down these reasons why I would not have had the belief in myself to do that. John Jones had more belief in me than I had in myself. So reasons why I would not bet on myself. Number one, I think it all starts with fear. And it could be a fear of letting yourself down. It could be a fear of failure. It could be a fear of looking stupid. It could be a fear of embarrassing yourself in front of your friends, or you don't want to let your mom down. All these reasons could be the thing holding you back, but most importantly, so many things in your life have been setbacks. You've had so many things that didn't go your way. I was one of those people that I didn't have a lot of successes. I was very, very mediocre. I would, all my jobs, I can pretty much say with certainty that I was a very, very mid-level performer. And I was a very, very mid-level performer at John Jones Real Estate for my first 10 years. And I could have done a lot more during those years, but there was things that would hold me back in sales. There's a lot of things. My salespeople on here, Stevie, Blair, if you know that you're probably going to be rejected, you're not very inspired to call that person. We don't put ourselves out there enough. And as my first 10 years, I can tell you, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to feel that rejection. So I would just rather feel nothing instead of feeling how painful it would feel to be told no. So that's where it all started. There was some type of fear that was inside of me that was preventing me from taking action. Number two, I just touched on it. It was really coming from having no success in my life that made me feel like I was good enough to bet on me. You know, I had very average results. How many of you on here have had, you know, if you're an athlete and you grew up with somebody that played sports, those kids that were very, very athletic and they had a lot of success in their sport, they probably grew up with a lot more confidence. Do you remember those guys? Blair, everybody that's successful has had to deal with failure, rejection before. If they say they haven't, they're telling tales. Got to keep my throat moist or all. Everybody that's successful has had to deal with failures and rejection before. You know, Barbara Corcoran, she's on Shark Tank, and she was talking about what she feels like is the difference between a low-level agents versus high-level agents, and it was the fact the high-level agents could bounce back. Whenever things went wrong, they could just bounce back. And I remember when things would go bad or challenging, they didn't destroy me, but I mean, it would really jolt me whenever things didn't go my way. We're going to have to strengthen your faith, GT. No doubt about it. That's something I've definitely got to work on, and that's something that that is lacking in my life, Ron. I do go to church, but I'm not near the student of Christ that I should be. Be resilient, Belinda. You are a very, very driven person. When I see you, I don't ever see you feeling or putting off an emotion that things get you down. And I know that's probably one of your most successful things is you battle through, you fight through emotional letdowns. And I wish I could have gotten emotionally stronger, but it didn't come to me until I started really focusing on my own development. So my lack of success, and honestly, John Jones would be one of the first people to tell you that I was a disappointment for him for many years. And it was because of skills, which I'm going to talk about next. But I Think and Grow Rich. You know, I've got that book, Ron, and I've read parts of it, but my financial situation, it's not near where I want it to be, but I mean, man, it's gotten so much better over the last 4 or 5 years. I'm very blessed that I've worked on that, because I've got an emotional spending problem where when I have money, I want to go out and spend it. Raising an athlete, mental toughness is almost more important than physical toughness. Okay. I was thinking about that very thing today, Belinda. I'm running a 5K Saturday, and I hate running. I absolutely hate to run. But there's so much about running that is all mental. Because I just told myself I didn't get any more tired today. You know, today was an easier day. I think we only ran 2 miles, but man, I didn't want to do it. But I noticed that I just kept telling myself, hey, just get to here, just get to here. My body was not giving up on me. My mind, your mind will give up on your body well before your body will give up on your mind. Same in business. Mental toughness is a key factor. Belinda, I want to know what that means to you about mental toughness. For me, I believe it's a lot of emotional toughness for me. Whenever it is, I don't want to do something, when I don't want to go in there and make 20 calls or call those people back or pursue that. To me, my emotions are telling me, hey, you don't have to worry about doing that. Is that emotional toughness or is that mental toughness to you? Because my emotions, I'm a very emotional creature. And depending on the day, I mean, I can kind of be in those emotional moments where if I'm here, it's no problem to go do things. But it's the times when I don't want to do things that was one of the things that would hold me back on my success. When my emotions would tell me, hey, you ain't got to do that today. You've got a few things going. You're going to get kicked in the teeth. Like you're having the best day ever. Boy. Belinda, I love you, girl. You're going to get kicked in the teeth and pick up the next call on that. Well, for me, it was my goals and my dreams were never big enough. And if I had a few deals about to close, my emotions could relax, and I wasn't as driven. Now my goals are so big. But that took a long time for my mind to change. I mean, it wasn't something that I naturally had in me. It took me 4 or 5 years to decide, you know what, one of these days, I remember a few years ago, I told my buddy Joe Hafner, within 4 years, I'm going to get to 100 real estate transactions. I think it's probably been more than 4 years, but this year will be the first year we do that. But now I've got to reset my target. Now I've got to aim for 250 transactions, because that's going to be what's driving me and pushing me whenever my emotions tell me you can coast. My kid says if your people aren't laughing at your dreams, they aren't big enough. You know, I've heard that too. Grant Cardone says the same things. I mean, you need to have goals and dreams so big that they are laughable. They are unrealistic. Jamie, just like when an athlete fails, they must let it go. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. You never did sing karaoke tonight. You can't hide from it, but you actually had to anticipate and embrace it from it. Blair, I'm going to say this about you. You've got a calming demeanor because you've had a lot of tough deals. A lot of tough. You've had more of your fair share of deals that there were really nothing that you could do. But, man, you've held deals together that a lot of agents that are more seasoned, that have been doing this longer than you, they wouldn't be able to do it. But you've got a calming demeanor about you, Blair, that probably gives people more assurance, more certainty that things are going to be okay. That's a great gift that you've got, Blair. So fear was something that held me back, but the fear really came from lack of success. My lack of success, number 3, came from my lack of skills. Man, we had a guy come in the office today that would have been tough for me 5 years ago. He was on price, and we just went up on price, and somebody had told him some things, and really I just had to have very challenging conversations with him. And whenever you're going to have a challenging conversation, you've got to really, really, really have skills. Belinda Arender can have a challenging conversation because her knowledge and her skill set. She's probably, Nina Lampley, great to see you the other night. I wish I could have spent more time with you. And I loved your article on the Real Producer, by the way. So my skills were weak. I was very good at building relationships, but I couldn't articulate or I couldn't overcome objections whenever I really needed. I was a one-trick pony. I could get you to like me because I'm Good Time Tommy. I'm a lot of fun. But what about if there was an objection, or what if there was something where I actually had to articulate what they wanted to know? What if they didn't believe it? How could I have gotten past that? Well, whenever you're a relationship builder like I was for so many years, the only trick a lot of us have left is, hey man, I can drop this commission to help you out. But studies do show us that dropping the commission is really not what the person wants. There's something else around the deal that they want. They don't want the money because really just giving them the money is not going to really help solve their problem. That's the only bag of trick. That was the only trick though that I could provide. That was the only solution. So building skills is something that takes a lot of time. And I was not a very good student. Going all the way back to high school, I was never, ever, ever in position to be on the honor roll or dean's list. I did graduate from college, but I was not a serious learner. I didn't apply myself, and those same habits went into my adulthood where I was not a very good salesperson. I wasn't a very good employee, but man, skills can change. Developing skills can totally change your life. They can 100% change your financial situation. They can change your relationships. Belinda, Nina, what are your skills that you say, I can do this as good or better than anybody? Kathleen, how you doing, friend? Belinda, I would really like to know what your skill is. Andy Holmes is on here, and he is one of Murfreesboro's hottest, most creative builders out there. I bet if Andy Holmes, his one skill that I would say he would tell you, he can package a house better than anybody in our town. That's his gift. That's what he can do, and that's why people are lined up to go to brag. Right now, people brag that Andy Holmes built their house. How can you develop a skill like that? Well, Andy, he was, his dad was one of the best trim carpenters in this town. He learned, his creativity came from probably being 15 years old. Then he worked for Old South. So his skills came throughout a natural journey of work. I've got a psychology degree. That didn't really help me develop any skills. I feel I'm really good at relating to people regardless of where they are in life. I'm really good at being able to relate with them. Belinda, let me tell you of something that you've got. You are more, come on over here, buddy. Belinda, you say things with certainty. You can tell me something and I don't walk away wondering, is that right? When you say something, Belinda, to me, it's 100% solid. You've got that kind of reaction. But if you don't have skills, if you don't have those skills, you're not going to be that convincing. You're not going to be able to talk with certainty. People aren't going to buy you. Whenever they lose certainty, whenever they start to doubt, they start to shop you. They start to Google you. They start to find out, is he right about this? Then they ask somebody, and they're like, no, he's wrong about that. This is what you should do. But lack of skills and lack of belief, confidence, well, my confidence, I had confidence in some areas of my life. I could get people to laugh. Unfortunately, a lot of times for me to laugh, I would probably cut down myself. You know, that was my repertoire. I'll get you to laugh, even if I got to make fun of myself. You'll laugh and you'll buy something from me. So fear, confidence equals success. How you say things matters, and the way you say things is because of a belief that you've got in what you're saying. You can be around people that are not quite right, but they can be very convincing. Have you ever been around those kind of people? I mean, that happens. I hope I'm not losing people. It looks like I'm starting to have. You were being... Yes. So, number one, fear would hold me back. I didn't have enough belief in myself, so I had to have people around me like a John Jones, who I was borrowing confidence from old big boy. John Jones was giving me confidence to do the things that I didn't have. I didn't have the belief in myself. Number two, I didn't have a track record up here of success that I had seen for myself. I didn't see me having success. Therefore, I had a lack of belief. I had all this because I didn't have the necessary skills. To me, it was boring to go in there and follow a mentor, to read a book, to watch things on YouTube. Hey, are you still here? I can't tell if my internet is shut down. Somebody tell me I'm here. I'm still here, fellas. I was in Facebook jail, Belinda. I was playing. We went out and we put a Eric Church song up. Hey, can you hear me? I'm hoping you can hear me. Thank you, Jamie. So here was something that was very, very, very hard for me because I'm a relationship person, and most of the people that I went to high school and middle school were still very, 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 very valuable to me. I'd picked up a new friend or two, but a lot of my core group was still people that I'd been around all my life. And some of those people during those years of college or high school, maybe they were good for me. And I'm not saying they were bad people, but we were all pretty much on similar paths as far as our careers and our income. I had to get around different type of people. About the Nerf attack. Nah, hey, I'm just glad you came over here, fella. I like when you come over here, Andy Holmes. So, the people that I was talking to Coach Bird about this tonight. Sometimes you can be around people and they just provoke no thought. You're just talking about sports. Hey, I was a big sport. I'm still a diehard Notre Dame fan, and that was really. You could come into my office probably 10 years ago, and I'd be on the Notre Dame website. I'd be talking to all my buddies about Notre Dame football. They'd be talking about UT football. So collectively, our week was talking college football. How much better was my skills getting? Now, hey, if I could have made money off talking about Notre Dame football in 2005, I'd have made a lot of money. I'd have made enough money to have that house down in Florida. So I wasn't hanging around people that were challenging my beliefs, that were pushing me to level up, to play at a higher level. We thought that, one day this is going to happen. And it wasn't going to happen. I mean, it took getting around new people that made this happen. So I really do believe you're going to be very, very close to, or you're going to have very similar lives to the people that you're hanging around the most. And if I'm looking back, whenever I was very, very mediocre, we all were about on the same, we were all looking forward to going out on Friday and Saturday night. That was a given. Who here looks forward to the weekend to go out? I guarantee you Belinda Ender, she looks forward to Friday. Yeah, it's Friday, but it ain't to go out. She's probably tired of working 15 or 16-hour days. My friends were looking forward to hanging out so we could go be Good Time Tommy. Surrounding yourself with folks who are like-minded in goals, but those who make you out. She grows sorry if it's lagging some on my... Well, hey, I'm just glad somebody's talking. I can't tell if people are on here, Tiffany, but I really do appreciate it. So So those are the 4 reasons that I could think of that really, really held me back. So if you're wanting to, somehow this ends up on your stream, if you're wanting to know, hey, how can I start to move ahead? I really do believe the internet has changed so much. You can start, I believe you need to find one mentor, and today you can get a mentor that you don't know. You don't have to meet them. You don't have to have conversations. People like mine, of course, is Grant Cardone, but Gary Vaynerchuk. Some people would love to listen to Tony Robbins. There's these people out there that put so much content out there that can literally be your mentor. So I went to update the Facebook app. Hey, I'm glad you're on here. Hey, Tyler Barnes, the yard looks great. Thank you guys for getting over here and taking care of us. So the big question is, if you haven't bet on yourself, would you? Would you bet on you? If you were a stock and you were looking at your current price and your earnings and your growth trajectory, would you bet on you? Would you take that gamble and say, hey, that guy's a winner. That girl right there is a winner. I'm going to bet on them. Would you bet on yourself? But I do think what it's going to take is you are to, I see you and hear you, but it's lagging. It's funny to watch. I've got to get my internet. Who over here in Puckett Station has internet problems? I think we all do. There's so many people that live in this general area. But we've been going about 31 minutes. So I do want to leave you with this provoking thought. Are you where you want to be? Somebody like a Belinda Arender, who is one of the top mortgage producers in the country. You know, she's, I don't know if she wants me to say her number, but what keeps her motivated? How does she continue to push when she's at a level of like a Michael Jordan of what she does? And go over to Good Time Tommy. Please like. I put a blog out, a video today about even if you're great at what you do, you have bad days. I had a file, and we were so bad on that file, and I called the. And I think you've got to take ownership when you do things, when you let people down. That's big. Go all in. That's right, BJ. So back to what I was talking about. It's okay to admit to you and to your client if you sucked. And if I've got 50 protected relationships, I'll let one of them down. And I had to tell him. I mean, I was so embarrassed by the job that I did. I really didn't even feel like taking the money. I offered it back to him, but I don't know why I'm talking about this. But I guess because I've got the confidence now to say, hey, I'll let you down. And I probably could not have done that 5 years ago because I was probably too worried about the money. Doing things for money has never been motivating enough for me. And I'm not saying I'm motivated by money or not motivated by money, but I've always needed something more than money to push me. For me now, it's about building the Good Time Tommy brand because I want 131,000 people in Murfreesboro to see a story of a guy that was very, very half-assed, but then made a decision at 36 years old he was going to turn his life around. That's the story I want to tell people. So, Brittany Renee's still not home. I do want to brag on my girl before we get off here. And Belinda, I really appreciate you doing what you've done. I mean, you've got so much stuff up there. It was really, really cool to see how you've helped Brittany out, and I'm sure she's very, very appreciative of it. But tonight was a great night for Brittany. And tonight the show was supposed to be about me interviewing Brittany, who went all in. I mean, she sold magazines, and then she sold real estate. And then one day she told me there's a store in Hendersonville, and it's a consignment store. And they said something about opening up a store in Murfreesboro. Maybe I could contact them and see if they want to open it, and I could work there. Well, 7 days later, she had her store here called the Exchange, her own store. And to see firsthand how she bet on herself, the transformation that she went from, she was good at what she did, but now it's just like, a machine. She wakes up at 5:30 and she's working on something. It's been so cool to see. It's been great to witness, and I really wish she could be here because I would like to know what held her back. She's 32 years old. She's way ahead of where I was at 32 years old, but I really wish I could have asked her questions tonight and I think Brittany would tell you this. If she do this, Brittany would be the first one to tell you if she could go out and do what she's done, she would tell you anybody could do it if you've got enough belief. But hey, you got to build that belief, and it's all internal. Guys, I think my internet's crashing, but I really do appreciate you coming on here and watching the stream. I do it every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and maybe next Thursday night we can get Brittany Renee back on here, and I'm going to interview her, and I'm not even going to tell her what the questions are. It's going to be off-the-cuff style. It's going to be very raw, and I would just like to share her thoughts because she had fear. She's probably still scared, but she's fighting through those emotions. She's moving forward. She's pushing towards what she's always wanted to do. I didn't know she wanted to always do this, but she's doing it. And the store does open up on Saturday. It's on Spring Street. So if you are looking for consignment clothes, and these are very, very high end, it's boutique brand, express and up. Go up there and check her store out. If you're looking to consign, please consult or please reach out to her. David Estes, man, where's your house? I see it on Facebook. Looks like you're building a real big house, friend. Congrats. I'd like to come take a look at it. This internet's driving me crazy. We've been going about 36 minutes. So, guys, I'm going to shut it down. I wish it is a mansion. It's real nice. I wish Brittany Renee was here. If you got any other, she did, Mom. She had a great turnout. Hey, thank you, Alley on Main, my favorite restaurant. They catered the event. If anybody, there she is. We've been waiting on you, girl. She had the Alley on Main there catering tonight. And if anybody ever wants to have food catered, I highly, highly recommend the Alley on Main. Brittany Renee, how far away from here are you? We've been going 37 minutes, Tiffany. Maybe you got on late. But I am proud of you, Brittany Renee. It was a great turnout. And Mom, I don't think she wanted to sell stuff, but people kept coming up to her, and she finally got to the point to where she couldn't turn everybody down. Well, baby, I love you. I don't know if I can keep talking without you here, but I don't know if you could type this into the phone, but what do you think? This one question. What do you think took you so long to do this? Hey, Jennifer Roark. Good to see you. Good to see you tonight. Well, you missed it. Hey, maybe Cheese, my man, I meant to call you today. I'm going to have to call you tomorrow. Baby, I want you to, if you can respond to this, what is the one thing that held you back from betting on yourself and opening up the exchange sooner? What took you so long? Hey, I appreciate the shares. If you'd share my stream, I'd greatly appreciate it. Please like the Good Time Tommy page. Scarcity mindset, being a single mom. You know, a scarcity mindset is very hard to change because you don't just wake up one day and have a scarcity mindset. It's something it's probably from early in childhood, where when your parents are saying, don't spend money, turn off the lights, don't do this, don't do that. And, you know, they're telling you that because they think it's the best news. It's the best thing for you. Being a single mom, that's right. But, hey, you've my prediction is you're going to say in 1 year that the biggest mistake you've ever made is not opening up that exchange sooner. Because I know that I know it's going to be the best thing you've ever done. I can see it. It's easy to see that. It's easy when you can see somebody so passionate about their pursuit of excellence. Because I can tell you, Brittany is not doing this for the money. See, doing things for the money will never make you great at what you do. Brittany's doing this because she wants to provide something that I've never heard. You know what? Since Brittany's been doing this, I've never heard her talk about money. I have heard her talk about providing an experience, about taking pride in what her store has. I've never once heard Brittany talk about, I want to make X amount of dollars. I think it's hard to get great at something if you're doing it for the money. And for so long, I was a real estate agent for the money. Therefore, I never made that much money compared to what I thought I could make. So to go back through the things that are holding you back, because we've had some more people get on here. I appreciate the loves, the likes. If you would share the stream, I'd greatly appreciate that. Or if you want to if you got questions or comments, to me, like I said earlier, this is one thing that I never feel like is work, because I feel energized if I can help people. I feel energized. So the things that help, this is what held me back. So this is not a blueprint for what holds everybody back. This is what held me back. Fear was my number one thing that held me back. And it was different types of fear. It was a lot of times I was probably scared of looking stupid. I was scared of letting people down. I was probably scared of letting my family down. I didn't want to do things that could put myself in a position to where I failed. Fear of failure is something that will definitely hold you back. Lack of success. I never had enough success in my life to have enough confidence to trust my decisions, to trust my gut. And I'm not saying I was unlucky or I was not successful, but I was very, very, very mediocre. And I really think it's because I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it for money. And I don't believe money will get you where you need to go. Be successful. The service you provide. That's right. If you do not believe in what you're doing, but you're still doing it, it's really you're being unethical. Number 3. Lack of skills. Man, my skills were bad. My best skill was I was a relationship builder, and I could get people to like me. People trusted me. But the moment something came up to where I had to overcome an objection, I didn't have anything to offer. All I could do was to be honest and get you to somehow like me. Number 4, who you hanging around? Your people, your core group of people, you're usually never going to outgrow your people. You're going to stay in line. So if this is where your people are, you're going to stay. Hey, Mama, I don't understand the failure. I never experienced that in real estate. Well, hey, Mama, I'm not saying I failed, but to me, I failed myself, and I'm comparing that as a benchmark of where I think or I thought I should have been. If that makes sense. Because, I was very average. I was very mediocre. And to me, looking back, I had people around me that I should have been doing more. My buddy Brad Elam's not on here. But Brad Elam is Dan Elam's brother. Dan Elam owns Elam Real Estate. And Brad Elam's first year in real estate. Hey, Roy Frazier, my favorite insurance guy. If you need insurance, you gotta call my guy Roy Frazier, Farm Bureau. But Brad Elam, his first, I think he was in the business maybe 9 months, sold 40 houses. Now that right there is somebody I feel like is getting close to reaching their potential. What's up? Roy, are you coming to breakfast tomorrow? Tiffany, do you know Roy Frazier? See, I don't look at things anymore as competition or I'm competing against this. Dan Elam, I wrote a blog about Kendra Cook and Dan Elam. I learned as much from Dan Elam and Kendra Cook as about anybody else I can think of. So even, I mean, I welcome other realtors on here, other insurance people, mortgage people. I know Jamie was on here. Belinda was on here. I think I even saw Penny Campbell on here. But look at things as collaboration. You need to meet Roy Frazier. You need to collaborate with people. You know, that's part of the scarcity thinking is, hey, I'll tell you what I battle sometimes. It's when me and Kathleen, we come up, hey, I bet you're working on one of our deals, aren't you, Belinda? Whenever we're coming up with content and we feel like other people take it, we start thinking small. You know, what we should be thinking is those people, we've got to stay a step ahead of everybody. We got to force ourselves to put out more content. I need more blogs, Belinda, by the way. Baby, I was bragging. Belinda, I don't know if you're here, but it was great to see how much you've been to how much you've meant to that store. So you've got some great stuff there, Brittany. I need to get my wife to come see it. You know, she had a great turnout there tonight. I mean, hey, and I'm going to brag because she really, honestly, hey, I'm a selfish only child. Brittany didn't have a lot of help. If you go over there and you look, I mean, she pulled off an amazing event with, I mean, and it was a first class activation event. From the catering of Allie on Main, she had, Roy, you would have loved this. She had a guy and a girl. I wish I could remember their name, but acoustic guitar players. She had a little wine in there, the food. I mean, it was a very, very nicely, I mean, it was top shelf what she did tonight. It was a great event. I'm jealous. And she really pulled all this together by herself. I mean, but that's what happens when you're on fire, when you're reaching your potential and your calling. This is the kind of this is what can happen, because if you think she did all this by herself, you'd be like, how the hell does she do that? But when you're so eat up with providing something, and again, it ain't about the money. It ain't about Brittany making money. But it is about providing something that people want to come back to over and over again. Do we have any other questions? I'd love to answer a question. Brittany, Renee, how close are you? Roy, I don't know if this is an Orca cup, but this is the best cup I've ever had. The ice just doesn't seem to melt. If we don't have any questions, I guess I'm going to get off here and play. I'm about to pull in. All right. Well, we're going to see you momentarily. Roy, hey, now let me tell you something about Roy. Roy is somebody that is very trustworthy. He's got a lot of wisdom. Roy Frazier is also a learner. He's a student of self-improvement. Most of the people I know out there that are successful in what they do, they've got something about them that they're inspired to get better every day. And it comes from probably reading something or following somebody on YouTube. Today, there's just so much stuff out there that's given to you for free. You don't even have to buy books anymore. You can YouTube people, and they really almost give away their best content, so you'll go buy products for them. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down unless there's any last-second comments. But, hey, I really do appreciate everybody that tunes into this. And the reason why I do it is because I really felt like I let myself down for 35 or 36 years. And I like to tell the story. I like to tell people, here's what didn't work for me. And he's a great fisherman, Mama. I like to tell people what I did wrong, what I've done to help kind of turn that around. And again, when I say that, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'm nowhere near where I need to be. But this helps me. If you want to get good at something, you study it, you learn it, you research it. But if you want to get great at something, you start teaching it. It takes your learning and your understanding to a whole completely different level. So, guys, hey, unless there's any last second questions, I'm going to shut this down. Brittany Renee's going to come in here, and she had a phenomenal, wasn't even an opening night, but it was a phenomenal soft opening. So I got to ask her questions, and she's going to walk in here excited. And her dog, I hadn't seen her all day. So
Lucky. Hey, baby.
Hey. She's here. Oh. Well, God, hey, Jamie. I'd like to see you back over there in Master Monday, buddy.
We're live.
We're live. Hey, little Nick.
Hey, guys.
Hey, that's my ear.
Sorry. Do it.
All right, guys, we're going to shut it down. We'll interview Brittany Renee next week. Hey, look
Sorry,
at this
I missed this week.
Hey, have you ever been on TV?
Well, yeah, actually, I've been on this something at the Ronald McDonald House. I got interviewed by it.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did.
All right, guys, have a great night. Thank you for tuning
Good
in.
night.